All right, we're here to talk about Predator 2. It's a sequel. It came out in 1990, so 3 years after the first one. Which isn't that long. Yeah, it's a bit long in Hollywood times, but I think at the time it's a little bit long, but not by much. And it's a what's it called? Near future dystopia. Unless I find another genre term for it, but kind of like the certain films that use that like style where it was very much like an 80s 90s thing, or it's kind of that semi-futuristic dystopian era where everyone's like punks or everything's kind of falling apart and it's all completely crime-ridden area. And that's where kind of Predator 2 sits, and it's 10 years after the first film. I think I remember seeing that some of the stuff that explains like the connection between this and the first film was kind of cut out. There's a little bit of it, but yeah, it's one of those things where you're like, oh, they could have done with a bit more of connectivity, but they did try. It's just, Arnie wasn't coming back. Yeah, so it's one of those things where it's like, I wonder what this film would have been like if Arnie had come back. We'll never know unless I somehow find a way to have a what-if machine, which I would love. Honestly love a what-if machine. But I'm going off track. Yeah, so we basically follow these kind of cops who, mostly one particular cop. What's his name? What's the character's name? Mike Carrigan, played by Danny Glover. He's a cop, a badass cop. Yeah, classic cop who doesn't obey his superiors. The classic era of just like, you don't know what you're talking about, you. Yeah, that kind of cop that just like, nope, I'm gonna disobey that to be. He's talking shit and all that kind of stuff. Yes, it's honestly like, it's one of these things where I'm like, okay, this is weird and also good, but also weird and good. Yeah, so it's basically there's kind of, well, we start off with like a basic whole gangland scene, and then they're kind of chasing them into a building, and basically a predator kind of away from where the other people can see him kills pretty much everyone left, and they go, what the fuck? And it kind of continues that trend for most of the film, where it's them kind of tracking down the predator because he keeps killing people, kind of just hanging out in the sea, killing people, as you do. I know some people. I know this film, I think, wasn't liked at the time, probably because people were expecting Arnie to be in it, and then he wasn't there, and I think that may be part of the reason. But I don't think it's a bad film. It's a good film. There's the kind of army president. What are they called? Are they CIA? I'm just trying to look through this list. Special agents. So I guess FBI, CIA, same thing. Whatever. I know they're not, but whatever. American intelligence. They're kind of army people that are kind of hanging around, trying to stop the predator and trying to capture him. I guess to gain knowledge on him. Yeah, because if you've got some kind of threat coming, or a kind of alien threat, it may be good to know who they are, and yeah, they probably want to dissect him and all that kind of stuff, all that kind of fun times. Whereas Danny Glover's more just because he keeps killing his partners and his fellow cops. Danny Glover's more just on the kind of warpath and ready to fucking take this guy out, take this predator out, because he is destroying stuff. There's a really cool scene where what's his name? I'm trying to look at these names. Leona Cantrell, yeah, that one, and Jerry Lambert, who's Bill Paxton's character, who were there like on a train trying to chase some people down, and then basically the predator shows up, and it's really dark. Like, it could have done with being, seeing a bit more of it, but it looks so cool, and yeah, this film fits the dystopian sense where it's just so dark and grimy, so grimy. Yes, there's that aspect. I don't know. I've got a real soft spot for this kind of near future dystopian films. I just love it, and especially of this era where because it's always like punks, and it's always what they think the future's gonna be, which is always wrong, obviously. It's extrapolating like 10 years later from the tech they have then, and it's always wrong, but it always looks kind of cool. I kind of have a soft spot for that. Just future. It's very retro future tech. Retro future, which retro future is a weird term to say. It's more of an oxymoron. Retro future, what? Retro future? Yeah, I mean, kind of how you look at stuff in like the original series of Star Trek. You're like, hang on a minute, that's like 200 years from where we are. 200, 300. That time it would have been probably. I think it's 200. I think it's no 300. Yeah, because it's 22. Well, it would be 300 from when the original series was shot and aired in canon. But I'm getting off track, as I always do. I like to talk about Star Trek. I don't know if you've noticed, considering I have a whole series where I just sit there and watch Star Trek. I love it. That's enough about Star Trek. Stop talking about Star Trek. Stop talk about Predator. So, I want to talk about that. There was going to be I think I've mentioned this, a Star Trek alien comic once. That was good. That would have been cool. I don't think it'll ever happen now that Disney own Alien and Predator, and CBS, Paramount, Viacom own Star Trek. I feel like they're two big companies that were just kind of like, we're mostly competing with each other, so no. But it could happen in comic books, because comic books is where the weird shit happens, because it's just the Wild West, I feel like. There's just more stuff you can just get away with in comic books. Maybe because, the viewership is a little bit low. Or comic books. I love them so. I don't have to visualize things in my brain. It is there on the page. I love comic books. I need to read more. That's another distraction. Should we talk about this film? Yes, we should. So you've basically got a whole bunch of army dudes who are trying to capture Predator. They fail because they underestimate him, which is always the case. Always underestimate Predator. It's really good. Like, I don't know what people dislike this. The only thing I say is, like, from a visual aspect, the only thing that looks a little shaky was the I think they only had one Predator suit, as far as I can tell. I think they might have only had one suit, because You see a few predators running around in the ship right at the end, and it looks like it's on like a green screen. It just looks a little bit, because I think they've got like smoke on the ship as well, and it just does not look great. But other than that, honestly, it looks good, and it's something I'd really like to see like more of. I feel like, I guess the bad Predator film, The Predators, The Predator, no, The Predator, that did it in cities again. But that was not good. But we'll get to that when I'm gonna have to cover that film. Anyway, enough about that film. This film we're talking about. Yeah. So Danny Glover is just like badass in this film. Which is weird because I'm used to see, I used to see him in like Lethal Weapon, where he's the kind of the kind of stuck up old guy. That's like, what the fuck is this guy doing? Oh no, I'm too old for this shit. But yeah, this is a fucking badass. Like, this film looks so good, and there's so many cool action scenes. Does it feel dated? Yes, but no, because it is that, slightly futuristic dystopian kind of setting. So it's not that dated in that aspect, but I love it. I love it so much. I think I just need more. I mean, I need another film like this that's not terrible, like The Predator. God damn these fucking titles. You can go from Predator 2, Predators, The Predator. No wonder it's fucking confusing. At least for the most recent one, they just called it Prey, which is like, oh, that's such a good thing, such a good title. Which I have not seen, and I'm kind of holding off onto until we like get to it in here. But yeah, it's visual effects. Like I said, the only thing is a little bit shaky is right at the end, but other than that, it looks so good. And it I mean, this guy was rewarded for beating the Predator, because they kind of have that honor of just like, no, you beat one of us. Good on you. Well done. That's which fits. It's like, it makes sense if they're hunters. They're kind of honorable hunters. Kinda. I mean, as honorable as a hunter can be, shall we say? Because let's be honest, hunters are terrible. I'ma just say it. Hunters are terrible, but as honorable as hunters can be. You got so many great people in this film, and I don't know. I'm trying to think. Is there anything missing? Obviously, other than Arnie being in it, I feel like more of a connection to the first film. It would have been nice to have them. What's the name? I can't pronounce it. And nope, I'm not going to pronounce it. The woman. Since they got her back for a cameo, I think. I think it's on like a TV. Just talking about the first film. It would have been nice to have more of a connection. Maybe it's a bit hard to try and explain why she's there. In what's the city? Is it New York? Los Angeles. Sorry, that's Los Angeles. Yeah, it's 1997, which the film was like 1990. So maybe they just couldn't figure out how to bring her into it, but I would have preferred that to have her somehow in the film. It's a hard thing to try and explain why she's there, which I kind of get. If you're like, oh, how do I explain why this character would even be here? It's a tricky one. Maybe a better, maybe a good writer would be able to figure that out. But I can't figure it out off the top of my head. But yeah, I've rambled enough. Oh, and then the kind of cool ending where they kind of hand him a trophy, which, you know, I think is explained in a comic book from what I remember. And maybe they'll cover it in an actual movie at some point. But yeah, I'm gonna sign off here. Like I said, still one of the best movies. One of the best Predator movies anyway. Yeah, it's good. It's good. Anyone who says it's bad, no one talking about me. You don't know what you're talking about. That's what I say. Don't know what you're talking about. But yeah, that's me signing off. I think the next film we're going to be covering is Alien 3? Yeah, Alien 3 and Alien Resurrection? Is it? I don't know. I don't care. Well, it's fine. Well, it'll be correct in the actual video. It's fine. Don't worry about it. For now, I say I'm going to sign off, and I say live long and prosper. And hopefully I'll see you next time. Goodbye.